the Chi-Town experience on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the like.
Ben Johnson speaks out on Caleb Williams' one big glaring issue going into year 2. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. So, Bears fans, Ben Johnson just had a recent press conference where, of course, he was talking about quarterback Caleb Williams. And as we all know, Caleb Williams during his rookie season had to go through a whole bunch of crap with the Chicago Bears. Both his offensive coordinator and head coach both got fired basically mid-season, but the guy still threw for 3,500 yards, 20 passing touchdowns, and just 6 interceptions. So the fact that Caleb Williams was able to overcome all that and have a pretty successful rookie season, even though people from the outside looking in said Williams had a terrible rookie season. Personally, I think it's the other way around. I think it's outstanding that he was able to have that level of performance with the stuff that he had to go through last season with the Chicago Bears. And I want to make it clear that it wasn't perfect, but he showed enough flashes to be really excited going into year 2. But there was one glaring issue that kind of overshadowed the successes that Caleb Williams had during his rookie season with the Chicago Bears, and it was the tendency of him holding on to the ball too long, waiting for the big play opportunities. I usually like to call this him trying to make Superman plays, and with all the information that came out about how Shane Waldron or none of the Bears coaches watched film with Caleb Williams, so he went into the games blind and no one was really there to support him. I think that was Caleb Williams' only choice to keep us in a lot of football games. Due to Caleb Williams' improvising skills and him playing Superman 24/7, not only made the games interesting to watch as a Chicago Bears fan, but Caleb Williams gave the Bears many opportunities to win a couple more football games last season. So I know that he had the tendency to hold on to the ball too long. It also led to him taking 68 sacks, which we all know that he didn't have the best offensive line, but a lot of people put some of those sacks on Caleb Williams' tendency to hold on to the ball too long. This is why some people are a little bit skeptical about Ben Johnson and hoping Ben Johnson can actually tackle this problem of Caleb Williams holding on to the ball too long. And when you look at the history and track record of Ben Johnson, Johnson has only worked with quarterbacks in his NFL career that are strictly pocket quarterback players like Matthew Stafford and, of course, Jared Goff. And both of these quarterbacks are completely different than Caleb Williams. They get the ball off on time to the right targets. They are not improvising quarterbacks. They have high processing speeds as well. So this is going to be the first time that head coach Ben Johnson has worked with a quarterback like Caleb Williams that can make things happen outside the pocket, improvising plays that are unscripted is one of Caleb Williams' biggest talents, and this is going to be a challenge for Ben Johnson as well. And I think what I really like about Ben Johnson so far is that he is not going to force the issue on Caleb Williams. He is going to play to Caleb Williams' strengths. Of course, he is making an offense all around Caleb Williams. So you will see Caleb Williams roll outside the pocket. And we will also see Ben Johnson allow Caleb Williams to be that Superman player, because he understands that's what makes Caleb Williams Caleb Williams. Him just sitting in the pocket and getting off the ball, basically timing throws, is not all Caleb Williams' game. There's going to be times where Caleb Williams does need to sit in the pocket and he needs to get the ball off on a slant route to DJ Moore or a dig route to Rome Odunze, because that is the play call that Ben Johnson is dialing up. But I don't think Ben Johnson is going to fully force the issue on Caleb Williams to be a full-time pocket quarterback. So this is where things get interesting. During his recent press conference, someone basically just asked Ben Johnson, can you tackle or fix this issue to get Caleb Williams to play on time? And I felt like his answer was absolutely outstanding, Bears fans. Check this out.
I think he's going to play on time when the receivers present themselves that way. And if they're not there, if number one or number two is not there, I think he's got the ability to make it right for us.
Bears fans, I absolutely love this answer from head coach Ben Johnson. He made it very clear that if option number 1 or 2 isn't there, he actually expects Caleb Williams to basically improvise, become Superman, make a play with your legs, get outside the pocket to give your team a chance at an explosive play. We all understand that Ben Johnson loves explosive plays, and you saw what he was able to do with Jared Goff, just a pocket quarterback. So just imagine what he's going to be able to do with Caleb Williams, an improvising quarterback. And once again, Ben Johnson isn't putting everything on Caleb Williams. He's not putting everything on the quarterback. And this is a tendency that most coaches or people tend to have. It's such an important position that anytime something goes wrong, the first instinct is to just blame the quarterback. I understand they get paid the most money. I understand that your team can really go only as far as your quarterback, right? And there's still going to be a whole lot of expectations, a whole lot of pressure on Caleb Williams to really take the next step going into year 2 as a Chicago Bears quarterback. But you have to understand, a successful offense is making sure all 11 guys are doing their job. So if there is a certain play, like once again, if DJ Moore is scheduled to run a slant route and he is not running his route properly, and let's say Roma Dunze is supposed to be running an out route and he is not running his out route and they're not open, Ben Johnson is basically saying, hey, Caleb, if DJ Moore is not open on that slant or Roma Dunze is not open on that out route, we then expect you to improvise, because those guys are at that point not doing their job. And this is what I like about it, is that when you look back at his Detroit Lion days, talking about head coach Ben Johnson, that's where the resurgence of Jared Goff really came in, because Amon-Ra St. Brown was doing his job, because Jameson Williams was doing his job, because the offensive playmakers around Jared Goff were doing their job. All 11 guys made sure they are handling their responsibilities, and that's why the Lions offense was so explosive. Yes, Jared Goff had to elevate his play, but Amon-Ra made it a lot easier for him. Jameson Williams made it a lot easier for him. David Montgomery and the running backs they have, and Jahmyr Gibbs, made it a lot easier on Jared Goff. So once again, yes, Caleb Williams is going to have to elevate his play, but the expectation from Ben Johnson is that every single person on this Bears offense, offensive line, DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Cole Kmet, they have to be doing their job. If they are not running their route properly, if they're not giving 110%, then yes, Caleb Williams is going to be expected to improvise and be Superman. Not on every play. The expectation sometimes is going to be, hey, you need to sit in the pocket and make sure that you get the ball off on time. We've already seen Ben Johnson get into Caleb Williams' ass about that in these early practices of OTA. So yes, he wants to get Caleb Williams to play on time, but at the same time, if that guy is not running his route properly or hard enough, then yes, hey, it's not all on the quarterback. It takes all 11 guys to have a successful offense in the National Football League. So absolutely love that answer from Ben Johnson. Absolutely love the fact that, once again, he is not trying to change Caleb Williams. He is trying to take Caleb Williams' strengths and make him an even better quarterback in the National Football League. But overall, I understand the importance of not holding on to the ball too long. But at the end of the day, sometimes you live and die with that aspect of Caleb Williams' game, because we understand that can also lead into some explosive plays for the Chicago Bears offense this season. So overall, Bears fans, before I let you guys go on today's episode of Keek on the Mic, let me ask you guys this. How did you guys feel about Ben Johnson's answer in regard to if he can get Caleb Williams to play on time? Let me know down below in the comment section. But as always, make sure you guys continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Keek on the Mic with every single Bears fan you know. But other than that, be back for our all new Bears podcast right here on Keek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the Mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the Mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the Mic.